So you should have already received account details to get you logged in. If you either haven't received an email, then what you can do is either use, if the email that we have for you is associated with a social media account, you can just click the Facebook or the Google or Microsoft button, and that will log you in without having to remember a different password. And I can assure you we don't collect any information, so from that is your email address so that we can link your accounts to our system. Otherwise, if you didn't get a welcome email, just the email that you gave the school when you signed, on your application form, you can click the forgot password link, and that will send you a new email to get you logged in. Okay, so if you can't log in at all, hit forgot password, type your email address, and it'll send you one straight away. So have you managed to get? Oh, so are you trying to use our Wi-Fi?
Oh, okay.
If you are, I would suggest that you just use one of these. It's set up already to work on the Wi-Fi.
I have already Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, but for you as a parent to sign on to our Wi-Fi, you have to go through it's another step, which so you can either use 3G on your phone, or you're welcome to use this device if you prefer. So moodle.standrews.ac.th. Okay, and once you're in, you should see your child or children a photo of. I'll just flick over to the. Okay, so you should see something like that. Okay. Welcome. Have a seat. I think this one's free here. Just going to move these out of the way. Okay. Hi. Let me help you get. Oh yeah. That's a bit weird. I think if you just refresh the page, it should.
Oh, I see.
It's like cached the wrong. I don't know what had happened there. Just a weird moment on your phone. Okay. So is there anyone that still hasn't managed to sort of get to this point? So you're all logged in, fine. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, because my email is in my other phone.
Oh, and so you can't get the email. Let me just help you get sorted. Okay, so it's a couple of minutes to 8, so we'll start properly in 2 minutes. Don't want to keep anyone waiting, but what I can do is I just reset your password manually, and then so it'll take me a second to wake up here. Okay, I can also do it on my phone. So what's actually the easiest way is what's your child's name?
Yeah, it's Janina.
J-A.
N-A.
Does she have a nickname?
Nana.
Ah, what's that? N-A.
N-A.
That's okay. Yeah, that's how we.
I use it.
What year is she?
Nana Mamona.
Oh no.
Oh, no, the other one.
I've got fat fingers. So let's try again. Sorry. And,
Nana Mamona.
okay. Right. So let's just check. So the accounts we've got for you. So the email address is this jing.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'll do is I will just make your password 1234 for now. Go edit profile. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Done. So, yeah. Okay, everybody else connected. Hi, sorry.
So this one is for entering into the Moodle?
No, that's come up because I don't know what Wi-Fi you're trying to join, but you cannot join this. You can only join the parent. You're trying to join the school Wi-Fi, which is.
Go to Moodle, and then you address this one, right? And then go into this one.
Yeah, but if you switch off Wi-Fi and try it, then it'll work, because you've turned on the Wi-Fi. Connect to one of our non-public networks. It's asking for a username and password which you don't have. So you either have to turn off the Wi-Fi or choose. Yeah. Okay, then it'll work. Hi, sorry.
Username.
It's your email address.
My email address.
That you would have given to the school when you
Right,
on the application
and
form.
The password is I should have set.
If you didn't get an email already, just click that and it'll send you one straight away. Just put in your username, your email address. Okay. So is anybody unhappy at this point? It's now 8 o'clock, so I'll get started on the main event. Okay, so firstly, I'll introduce myself. So my name's Keith. I'm a physics teacher in the high school. And as well as that, I have been involved in setting up our Moodle site. Now, Moodle is a virtual learning platform. So it was initially brought in to assist teaching and learning, okay? So to allow students access to online resources and allow teachers to, post sort of useful resources and tasks. But over the years, it's grown to be bigger than that, and we've realized that, of course, you as parents also want a window onto what's happening at school. So over time, we've added sort of more and more features, and so now it's the primary way that we have online of communicating and sharing information about your child's journey at St Andrews. So I'm really happy that you've set aside some time to come along. So I'm just going to take a few minutes to show you how to get the best of it, show you the various features, and I'll certainly take any questions. So do interrupt. Yeah.
The application of Moodle?
No, it's just the website. So good question. There is, if you go onto the App Store or whatever, you'll find a Moodle app. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't support that. The reason being, a lot of these functions we've actually custom made ourselves, and so they're not part of the generic Moodle package. Okay, so if you've never heard of Moodle, it's the world's largest virtual learning environment, and it's also open source, which means that we can adapt it and tweak it to our needs, which has served us very well. So. Hi, morning. Miss Anchal, do you want to just check that they can get logged in? And okay, so once you're logged in, as you see, you'll see your child or children. If you're on a phone or a smaller device, then this screen is kind of shuffled around a bit, but all the information's there. These blocks will have gone to the bottom, so you have to scroll through to get there. But the key information will be this icon set for each child. And depending what stage your child or children are at in the school, the icons might look a little bit different. But I'll basically go through the key features here. So one thing I'll say, this screen here, it looks like your site, but this is actually our demo site. So this has got anonymized information. So the information you're seeing here is kind of fake. Just so we're clear, I'm not showing anybody's personal data. Okay, so first up, attendance. Now, if you click through an attendance, it's early in the year, so of course there's not much data there, but you'll see a day-by-day breakdown of your child's attendance so far, along with sort of statistics. When your child is absent, If we don't know about that, we class that as an unauthorized absence. Okay, so that simply means your child hasn't turned up to school and we don't know why. Now, of course, you'll appreciate that we have to follow up on every unauthorized absence. So one way that you can help us with that is there's a tab here where you can authorize previous absences. So at the moment, this child has been absent on last Friday, so I can tick authorize and I'll just type a brief reason. Yeah, was sick or was visiting family, whatever it is, and click authorize. And what that does is it lets your child's teacher know, lets the office know that yes, there was a reason why your child wasn't with us on that day, and it will save the tutor or the class teacher or the office having to phone you or follow up. If you'd prefer to phone, by all means, phone through to the office. If you prefer to email, send the office and your child's class teacher or tutor an email. That's absolutely fine. If you prefer just to do things on your phone, that's just a quick way of letting us know about an absence. You can also tell us about, just leave that, future absences. So let's say you're, off on holiday for a week, or you've got some family business to attend to. Just tell us the start and end date. It can even be just part of a day. So if it's a dentist appointment in the afternoon, just let us know about that ahead of time. Again, a brief remark, and when you click Save Changes, then again your class teacher, your child's class teacher or tutor will get updated on that, and it just helps us keep up to date. Yeah.
I don't need to send email if I...
Absolutely. So this just saves you either having to phone or email. Okay, it's intended to be a quicker way of doing things. Be assured that if you do anything here, you will also get an email. So just in case you leave your account logged in and your child kind of says, yeah, I'm going to be absent next week, you will also get an email. So it's perfectly safe. Okay, so that's about absences. Next up, homework, which is always a popular topic. So if you click on the homework icon, what that will show is the current inbox for your child. So these are the tasks that have been set and that are now due. By each task, if you click on it, you will see some information about what needs to be done. There might be some links to resources and so on. Importantly, there'll also be a square box with a number in it, usually. That number is the time that the teacher has said this homework should take. Okay, so we're very much aware as teachers that homework can be a big stress for kids, and we don't want to overburden them, but equally we don't want them to just not bother with it. So this is a sort of a guideline that'll help you and helps your child work out what they should be doing in terms of homework. So if they come down after 5 minutes and say, yeah, I've done all my homework, but that actually they had some tasks that the teacher was saying, look, this is a 30-minute piece of work, then maybe you could have a conversation. But equally, if your child's up there after 4 hours still slaving away, you can sit down and say, look, the teacher said 30 minutes, you've already spent more than enough time, so just take what you've done and go back and explain to the teacher. And of course, we will be very understanding that as long as effort has been put in, that the outcome is acceptable. Okay. What I hope you never see is an item with a red flag. Okay, so what that indicates is that the teacher has there's been a big problem. So either on a number of occasions this task has failed to be submitted, or maybe it's been submitted more than once poorly. Okay, so red flags are given rarely, and it's just to highlight there is a significant issue going on. So if you begin to see 1 or 2 red flags crop up, you'll know that perhaps it might be worth having a chat with your child or getting in contact with your child's tutor to see if there's anything else that needs to be done. Okay, so I think that's what I need to say about that. Your children have a sort of similar view, and the way that they use it is once they've done the task, they mark it as complete, it goes green, and if they save that, it will disappear from their inbox. Okay, so they are expected to manage their own homework, in the same way that you would be managing your own email inbox. They've got to keep on top of things. So again, if your child ends up with a list of 30 things here, maybe sit down and encourage them to get themselves organized a bit better. Okay. I know in the high school, but if you do have children in the primary, the homework will be used sort of different ways depending on the year group. So at upper key stage 2, there will be homework set. Obviously lower down in the school, there's things that are set as homework, but they might be newsletters or videos that might work, or so it's not tasks for the children per se, but information that will help you understand what they've been learning in class. Next up, we've got house points, which are given for academic achievement or sort of community mindedness, and you'll get a list here of the date, who gave the house point, and what the reasoning behind it was. So that's a great way to celebrate your child's achievements, and a great way to say, hey, well done, that you've obviously did well on that piece of homework, or did well in class that day. So that's just to keep you informed of the highlights. ECA, you may well have already clicked on that because the sign-up process is open currently. So when you scroll through that, you'll see for each time slot there'll be a list of choices. We work on a preference-based system, which means that we ask that you say, let's say this is Monday. If you're very keen that your child does an activity on Monday, we'd ask you to make at least, the top 3 preferences. So, maybe first choice, game design, second choice, creative writing club, third choice, would be Photoshop. About 90% of students get their first choice, and we've got an algorithm that tries to maximize that. Just occasionally, the first choice is already full, so we have to go to second, maybe third choice. We've never had to go below that. Okay, so we try to accommodate people's preferences as best as we can. It's just sometimes because of numbers, it's not always possible. So once you've made your selections, just make sure you save, and that will confirm what preferences you have made. And then once the preference window, the sign-up window is closed, which was advertised as being tomorrow, I think we're extending it to Saturday so that it overlaps with the swimming and the squad sign-ups. Then on Saturday, you'll receive an email saying, okay, we've looked at your preferences and this is the allocations that you've been given. At that point, you can adjust those if you want, and you can also pay online. Some of the clubs are paid, okay? Ones that are run internally by the school, by the teachers, are free generally. Others that involve an external cost, so if we've got an external specialist coming in, or if we're taking your child to maybe rock climb at the rock climbing center, of course there's costs involved. Those are clearly identified well, all these are free, but on the list you can see the term cost for each of the activities. And once you've confirmed your selections, you can pay online with your credit cards, or if you prefer, you can come into the accounts office and pay in person. But again, the online system we've set up because most parents are finding it more convenient just to do it where you are. Okay, so swimming, very similar, except the swimming teachers like to, they're sort of competitive by nature, so rather than a preference-based system, they use a first-come, first-served, okay? So that will be opening on Saturday at 10 a.m., I think. Does it tell me? Yes, 10 a.m. on Saturday. And so if you're keen to get a particular slot, then make sure you sign in as early as possible after that time, because as I say, it's first come, first served. But to be honest, there's so many slots available, we've never had problems with them getting full, but just so that you're aware. Sports squads, currently there's trials going on, so I think by Friday those will be, you'll be informed of those if your child has got into one of our squads. And again, that information will appear there just so you can see what time and day is involved in training. The canteen allows you to do two things. You can see a full history of what your child has been eating if you're in high school, and also you can top up online. So just click through and be assured that any of the payments you'll be taken straight through to our partner bank's payment gateway. Okay, so at no point do I or the school see your credit card details, have any access to any personal information. It's all handled by the bank. So as long as you trust Krung Sri, then your details are safe. Okay, so let me just go back. Okay. The RFID, so all students and staff and yourselves, as you can see, have a badge to get in and out. That also is beginning to, we're the buses and the school buses if your child takes the bus. And so if you click through to that, you should see some statistics and also an updated list on when your child has entered and exited from the campus and got on and off a school bus if they do that. We have had a few teething problems in the last couple of days because we've had a little upgrade to the system. So not every access was recorded correctly within Moodle. Obviously the gates have been working fine, it's just the two systems talking to each other hasn't been perfect, but we'll get that sorted soon. And so that just, gives you some peace of mind. If your child's traveling independently, you can see that they've arrived at school, and you can see when they've left and so on. Yeah. Okay, school bus. If your child takes the school bus, then details about routes and billing will appear there. The teachers link will give you a full list of all of the teachers involved in your child's education, so each of the different subjects. Their email addresses are there, so you can email them directly if you've got a question. You can also sort of click through and see who they are. So if your child's talking about, Miss Sophie, you find out who she is. So next time you, maybe bump into her or see her at parents' evening, then you'll know who's who, which can be handy. The timetable, of course, will show you what your child is learning each period through the day, and also, again, highlight what teachers are involved with which subject. And then finally, the last icon is reports. So we publish academic reports each term. So if you're new, of course, there won't be anything there yet. But over the years, you'll build up a collection of reports that you can just click through to there, and then open up the document, and you've got a full history of all the reports from your child's progress. Okay, so that's the main icons which are associated with each of your child or each of your children. I just want to highlight a few other key useful ones. So on the right hand side here, or if you're on a phone, you sort of scroll up to find them. We've got the parent handbook, which is a useful collection of policies, procedures, information about stuff. Now, as with all things, a list of documents can be a bit difficult to find the information you're looking for. So I recommend just using the search function. So for example, if you want to know the school policy on head lice, for example, I'll search that and it'll take you through and list the sort of relevant points that we have on Moodle. Okay, so it's just if you're interested in any particular sort of policy or procedure, or you need some information, whatever it is, give it a search there and see how you get on. The PTG site, if you're not familiar with the parent-teacher group, then have a quick look there. You can see who they are and see recent minutes and activities and so on. So as I'm sure you're aware, we're very much a community school. So there's great interaction between the parent community and the teachers and the whole community. So do get involved in the PTG if you have the time. Otherwise, do keep abreast of what's going on. So there's activities. Also, here will be the parent activities will be coming online. So that's where you can sign up for your own ECA. So we do things like Zumba and swimming and I'm not sure, various other sort of things that you as parents can get involved with, meet other parents and be more part of the St Andrews community. So we've got a link to the library, which will take you straight through to the library catalogue, so you can search for books if your child is doing a particular project and you want to help out. The menus for the canteen are there, so each week that week's menu will be posted if you're interested to follow that. The counselling section, now of course young people these days face an enormous variety of potential and so on. So what our counsellors have done here is under a series of headings have put together some useful resources, some links, some information that would help you if your child is encountering issues with any of these. So I'd encourage you to have a look at that if you have the time. And if you have got particular concerns about any of these areas, of course, please contact your child's tutor and, if necessary, one of our school counsellors to help deal with that. Okay. If you haven't already done so, you can click on the update details link and upload a photo of yourself. That allows us to produce a wonderful ID badge for you. I see a lot of you have already done that very much. Okay, so upload a photo there. Make sure it's kind of like head and shoulders rather than you lying on the beach or whatever, because it will be just printed straight on the badge. Also now you can change your details. So the basic contact details, so your email address, your phone number, or your physical address, you can change that there, and that will immediately update our system, so you don't need to bother phoning the office or emailing us. Just do that online. Okay. Then the final thing I'll mention is the school calendar. Of course, we're a big school. We get a huge number of events happening, and it's difficult always to keep that sort of communication about what's going on. So I'd very much encourage you to add school calendars to your own. Okay, so here we've got, this is just a summary of the upcoming events. If I hit full screen, it'll take us to the sort of calendar view. This is also hosted at calendar.standrews.ac.th. So we use Google Calendar. You'll see different calendars set up there, whether it's whole school, primary school, high school, or sports. And so if you choose to add those calendars, pick the ones that are relevant to you. Of course, if you haven't got a child in primary, then don't subscribe to the primary calendar. Doing that will allow you to add our events to your own calendar if you want to manage it that way. Otherwise, just go to calendar.sanandrews.th or look on Moodle, and everything will be linked there. Okay, so and this if you click through, will give you more details. You can see other information about it. Okay. So I think I've kind of covered the basics. So if there's any sort of questions that I can answer now, that's great. Otherwise, I will be hanging around at the end. So if you've got an individual question you want to, or an issue you want to address, then I'll be happy to do that. But for now, is there any sort of general questions that I haven't covered? Yes.
Homework, if the student clicked done,
Yep.
but they haven't actually done it.
Okay, what happens? Yeah, good question. So as you can see, there's nothing to stop the student just going, yeah, I've done it all. So if the teacher, when they collect the homework, sees that it's not done, typically it's a two-stage process. So initially, the teacher will just go in and put that task back in the student's inbox because it wasn't done. If that happens a second time, then that's when a red flag might be involved. Because once a task is red flagged, the student cannot mark it complete. Yeah, it's only the teacher that can then go back and say, okay, you have completed that. So that's where the red flag would come in. But mostly that would only be for a second, attempt. So if you forget to hand it in ever, and it was only one day late, a student would be flagged. That's for a more serious issue. Oh, in terms of day-to-day marks, no. So the end-of-term reports here with all the grades, but the sort of the day-to-day marking doesn't appear here, no. So in terms of the homework, once it's marked, of course, it will be usually in the child's book. So you can have a look in their book if you're wanting to see the details of that. But we don't have an online system that tracks that currently. Oh, star is just actually that's for the student to use. They can make a task more important, and it floats to the top. Basically, that's just for them to manage their tasks. You do know that you can add a task as well. So you can say, clean your room or something if that's the way your communication works. Okay, brilliant. Well, thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And the last thing I'll say is that this whole system has been built up basically on feedback from parents. Yeah. So over the years, parents have said, look, it'd be great if I could, authorize absences online. It would be great if I could see all the reports in one place, going back 5 years. It would be great if I could, see what homework my child's handed in. So over the years, we've built this up. I particularly am very much interested in hearing any feedback, positive, negative, because we want to develop this further to be a really useful tool for you as parents. So if there's anything you think, I wish I could do that, and then just drop me an email. So it's keith.wi at standrews.ac.th, and I'd be very happy to hear from you. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you. Say, do hang around, and I'll answer some questions. Oh yeah, so if you want to expand it, it's just they just get they kind of get shrunk. Okay, you're very welcome. Thanks very much. Thanks.
We have to fix something. This is for my daughter. She is.
Oh my goodness.